Hello everyone, in today's video tutorial we're going to talk about joining stick figures alongside with other tricks and methods that I use for making full bodies and stick figures. Just a quick disclaimer, this video's targeted audiences are for those who just downloaded Pivot and has no clue how to operate the program. If you already know all of this, you don't need to write it down in the comment section or tell me about it because I didn't ask for your sass. Thank you. We begin with explaining how joining or connecting stick figures work. First, you have to select the stick figure you want to connect. Then, press J or click the connect button. And then, click the node that you want the stick figures to connect to. You may notice that the stick figure will always connect with their origin, so you have to keep that in mind whenever you make a stick figure. There's a trick that will help you to instantly know where to connect your stick figures while making them, which is the transparency tool in the stick figure builder. Aligning the origin like so will help you guide where to connect the stick figures that you're making. To change the transparency, you can use the lesser than or greater than keys in your keyboard. I personally use Glass 2K because the transparency that Pivot has only works on its own animator window, and it doesn't work universally. I usually trace my own drawings, animations, and reference photos as an aesthetic choice so that it doesn't stand out from the rest, because when you use an image sprite and resize it in Pivot, it will look pixelated. Most of the time when making full bodies, the unmovable stuff are made static. So when you connect them to each other, it will look cleaner and easier to use. There are other stick figure builders and animators who love to suffer, but that's just how their style is and their workflow. Now for some informative stuff. Invisible handles. I mentioned briefly from the previous tutorial that you can make the thickness 0 for segments. This makes the segments invisible, and it's useful for separating segments and making stick figure easier to use as long as you know how to move them. You can also connect all the background objects in one invisible handle like so that you can freely move only the background with just one node, or you can just select all of the stick figures with Ctrl A to move them like so. You can also make an invisible handle where you can connect a stick figure to it, and in doing so will change the stick figure's origin. When animating with it, it will be easier to follow and manipulate the center of mass of the stick figure if it's on its new origin. Stick figure manipulation. This is a bit advanced for stick figure building. I also mentioned this from the previous tutorial that you can rotate stick figures alongside with static figures. There are ways that you can capitalize on this by using the shortcut keys such as Ctrl for stretching, Alt Ctrl for rotation, Alt Shift for resize, just to make an interesting stick figure. Filling stick figures. Fill is the word used in Pivot community for stick figures that needs to be colored with or without an outline. There are a lot of methods to choose from when filling stick figures. This is due to the 255 segment limit. I'll show all these methods by filling this basic two shapes. The inward method. The inward method is where you draw an outline and then try to fill it inward and slowly making the segments thicker as you continue going towards the center. Economized method. The economized method where the outlines are nearly abandoned just to make a general shape and add the details later. Fill circle method. The filled circle method exploits the filled circle segment type and using it as a fill. This entirely depends on what kind of shape you're trying to fill. Connect method. This is where when you hit the segment limit but still haven't filled the shape yet and decided to just connect it to fill the rest. You can combine and use any of these filling methods if you need to, or only use one of them, and it really depends on what kind of shape you're trying to make. Some quick announcement before I end the video. You can download or buy stick figures from my website in donims.com. That is D0NIMS.com. And you can also join my Discord server. The links are in the description. If you don't know where the links are, you can also find them in my YouTube channel, just right here. I'd appreciate it if you leave a like if you find this tutorial helpful in some way. That's all for today, and thanks for watching.